Well, hello and happy new year, and welcome to our education session. How well do you know the Alzheimer Society? We want to thank you for joining us for this presentation today that's in honor of Alzheimer Awareness Month. And this January and all throughout the year, we're raising awareness about the important programs and services that we offer at the Alzheimer Society. For understanding, care, and access to our well-developed network of dementia care services, the Alzheimer Society really is your first link. We're so glad that you could be with us today to learn more about how the Alzheimer Society can support you. My name is Sarah Cook, and I'm the Education Program Supervisor at the Alzheimer Society of Peterborough, Kawartha Lakes, Northumberland, and Haliburton. And with me today are Chris Van Leuven and Ali Grady, the other two awesome members of our education team. And we're very happy for the opportunity to collaborate to be able to bring you this presentation today. Now, we do recognize that throughout our discussion that there may be several questions that do come up for you. Just in the interest of time, and because we're not always able to see the chat pod while we're sharing the PowerPoint screen, we would like to ask you to hold your questions until the end of the presentation, but we also don't want you to forget your questions. So feel free to jot them down on a piece of paper. You can enter them even into the chat pod, and we'll be sure to address those at the conclusion of the presentation. So thank you so much in advance for your help and your understanding about this. So some recent research that was conducted by the Alzheimer Society of Canada revealed for us that people living with dementia, and particularly those who have been more recently diagnosed, that they feel unconnected to the Alzheimer Society. So in other words, they do not really understand what the Alzheimer Society does for them, often leading to feelings of uncertainty and even isolation. They feel unconnected from each other, but also from the organization itself. Now, with more than half a million Canadians living with dementia today, a number that's actually expected to reach 1 million in less than just 10 years, the Alzheimer Society must work harder to generate more awareness of its support amongst people living with dementia so that we can meet their needs early on, but also throughout their journey. So this month, the Alzheimer Society has launched a national campaign to help raise awareness about who we are and what we do. The campaign also aims to motivate those that are diagnosed with the disease to make the Alzheimer Society their first link to a community of experts, supporters, and peers. And it also aims to reach caregivers in order to help them to understand that they are not alone. The Alzheimer Society truly represents the fight against the disease in Canada. We know that a diagnosis of dementia is not easy. Making a quick connection to a community of support can make a really big difference by eliminating some of that uncertainty and some unknowns as well. If there's one key message that we want to share with all Canadians, it is that the Alzheimer Society is here to help by being your first link. But first, you need to know more about what the Alzheimer Society can do for you and how we can help by being your first link. There's still a lot of uncertainty and sometimes even misinformation about just what the Alzheimer Society does, who it serves, how it operates, and of course, how it can benefit the countless Canadians that are living with or supporting somebody with dementia. We hope that you will join us in spreading awareness about who we are and what we have to offer. And you can help us to do this when you know more of the facts. So let's get started by doing just that and checking in with some of those common misconceptions that do exist so that we can hopefully increase your knowledge about how the Alzheimer Society can help. Perhaps you have questions or have been wondering about some of the very same things that we do plan to discuss with you today.
Sarah, for that great introduction. Let's start off with a common misconception and a question that we get asked fairly frequently. And maybe you too have been wondering if the Alzheimer Society only supports people who have been diagnosed or who are living with Alzheimer's disease specifically. Well, our name may be the Alzheimer Society, but we want you to know that we support people not only with Alzheimer's disease, but also those living with any type of dementia or memory loss. We also provide services and support to care partners, friends, family members, and other community members who may be caring for or supporting someone living with dementia.
All right. Perhaps you thought that the Alzheimer's Society is an organization that hasn't been around for all that long. Some people may not have even heard of us unless they've needed our services. Well, let's tell you a bit about our story. We have been around longer than you've probably suspected. The Alzheimer Society of Canada was founded in 1978, and it was established when researchers at the University of Toronto and Surrey Place Centre, who were investigating Alzheimer's disease, became deeply concerned about the lack of support available to families affected by the disease. The three major goals of the organization at that time were identified as family support, education, and research. Our local Alzheimer's Society informally came together with a small group of concerned volunteers and caregivers as well in 1979, but the society didn't become officially incorporated until 1983. It began as an idea to provide support to those impacted by Alzheimer's disease. Volunteers were the driving force in both the Peterborough and area chapter, which then covered the counties of Peterborough, Northumberland, and Haliburton, and the Victoria County chapter, which covered what is now known as the city of Kawartha Lakes. Since then, these two organizations have become one, with a formal amalgamation in 2010, which resulted in the society that we have today, which is the Alzheimer Society of Peterborough, Kawartha Lakes, Northumberland, and Haliburton. As many of you know, our society has a main office located in Peterborough Square Mall in the heart of downtown Peterborough. It's important to note that our staff travel throughout our catchment area though, and they deliver programs and meet support needs and field requests for education across the communities that we serve. While initially focused on supporting the needs of caregivers of those living with Alzheimer's disease, as mentioned earlier, the organization now provides services to those impacted by any form of dementia, as well as their family members and their care partners. Awesome. Thanks there, Chris. Now, it may appear to a few of you that the Alzheimer Society of Peterborough, Kawartha Lakes, Northumberland, and Haliburton is a small organization and therefore must only serve a very small population of people that are living with dementia. Well, we're here to make you aware that we're not as small as you might think. The Alzheimer Society serves a total geographic area of approximately 10,000 square kilometers. And our service area not only includes Peterborough and Peterborough County, but it also includes Kawartha Lakes, Northumberland, and Haliburton counties. It may surprise you to hear that over 10,000 people in our area are living with dementia. And what we know is that that number is growing. So approximately 10,740 seniors live with dementia in our 4 counties. And dementia experts estimate that between 5 and 10 individuals comprise that circle of care for people that are living with dementia. So conservatively, that means that at least 53,000 people in our service area are impacted by the disease. Our region also has the highest percentage of seniors in Ontario, according to a StatScan report. And as our population continues to age, with age being considered one of the greatest risk factors for developing Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, we expect that that number of people that are accessing our services will continue to grow significantly as well. So our society is able to do the important work that it does because of an amazing team of staff and volunteers who work together to deliver the programs and services that we do offer. So you may think that we're a small team, but we are also pretty mighty too. And most importantly, we are deeply devoted to supporting those that are living with dementia, as well as their family members and caregivers in the communities that we serve. As you might imagine, as we have continued to, expand to meet the needs of our clients, our local society has grown in its staffing complement and expertise over the years. The society has taken steps to ensure services are provided equitably across the 4 counties. Our local society has a very strong board of directors that provides leadership to the organization, as well as a skilled staff and volunteer team. Now, the majority of our staff work directly with people that are living with dementia and their families through client support, through education, our social work program, our day program, and our Minds in Motion. And you can see from the chart here on the screen that the various functions that our staff team does perform. So there's lots of different roles that we have at the Alzheimer Society. Now, the Alzheimer Society as a whole is considered to be the leading not-for-profit health organization that works nationwide to improve the quality of life for Canadians that are affected by Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, and to also advance the search for the cause and cure. It is able to accomplish this by providing service at 3 main levels. And you can see these levels here on the screen. So we look at service at the national level, at the provincial level, and at the local community level. And so we're going to look at those next. We like to think that having these 3 levels of support provide an even greater strength to what we can accomplish for people that are living with dementia, as well as their care partners and family members. So the Alzheimer Society is active in communities all across Canada, and the Alzheimer Society of Canada is our national organization. And we also have a provincial organization, which is the Alzheimer Society of Ontario. There are many smaller local Alzheimer's societies across the province of Ontario, and our society here is just one of the 30 local societies in Ontario that is providing direct service in the community. So no matter where you live in Canada, you have a society that you can be involved in. And they can help and support you with programs, services, education, and of course, resources that are tailored to meet your needs. And if you're still wondering how the Alzheimer's Society is making a difference on a larger scale, probably one of the most important initiatives to date has been the development of Canada's National Dementia Strategy, of which the Alzheimer's Society is a key partner. So on June 22nd in 2017, Canada committed to a national dementia strategy. The passing of an act respecting a national strategy for Alzheimer's disease and other dementias means that the Government of Canada has committed to addressing the overwhelming scale, impact, and cost of dementia in this country. So released in 2019, this first national dementia strategy focuses on 3 main objectives, and you can see these objectives here on the screen. So it's about preventing dementia, advancing therapies and finding a cure, as well as improving the quality of life for people that are living with dementia and their caregivers. The National Dementia Strategy is our single most powerful tool to transform and to elevate Canada's dementia care. The experiences of countries with national dementia strategies really show that a coordinated and targeted effort at the national level can improve results for all aspects of dementia care and research. And so the Alzheimer Society of Canada is very proud to have contributed to the development of the strategy. And it has committed to continue to be that vocal advocate for all Canadians that are affected by dementia. So you can read more about Canada's National Dementia Strategy right on our website if there's more information that you'd like to know. One other excellent example of how Alzheimer's societies in Canada are collaborating to support people that are living with dementia and their caregivers is through a more recent initiative called Dementia Friendly Canada. Now, the Dementia Friendly Canada project is a partnership between Alzheimer's societies across the country. And the project is intended to grow dementia-friendly communities by creating a truly nationwide impact. A dementia-friendly community is a place where people living with dementia, their families, and care partners feel included and supported. While creating dementia-friendly communities, individuals and organizations should focus on both the physical and the social environments to ensure that they are accessible to those that are living with dementia. And one of the goals of the Dementia Friendly Canada project is to train Canada's workforce to be dementia friendly. And we're doing this through the development of some tools and resources that stem from the very best practices that can be easily utilized across the country, such as our newly developed online education module. And it's called Building Dementia-Friendly Communities, which was just launched this past December. If you would like more information about this important initiative, we do have a virtual education session about it coming up on Wednesday, February 9th at 12 p.m. And you can visit our website for all the details, or you can reach out to us for more information about how to register for that session. So now that we've had a chance to talk about the work that Alzheimer's societies across the country are involved in, I'm going to turn it back to Ali to discuss another common misconception that we can hopefully clear up for you.
Thanks, Sarah. That was great to hear all about the things happening at the national level. Maybe you thought that the Alzheimer's Society exists only as a fundraising charity. And I mean, some of the things we just talked about help to counter that notion, but let's talk a little bit more about this. It is true that fundraising is a big part of what we do. We hold events like the annual Walk for Alzheimer's and promote our monthly giving and holiday campaigns. We also seek out larger gifts from individuals and corporations and write grant proposals for funding from a variety of foundations and government programs. However, it's important to know that we are so much more than just a fundraising charity. The Alzheimer Society is the first link for people living with dementia and their care partners. We provide supportive counseling, education, peer support groups, Minds in Motion, Young Onset Day program, and volunteer opportunities. At the national level, we fund innovative research through the Alzheimer Society Research Program. We also raise awareness and reduce stigma associated with dementia. Let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into some of these programs and initiatives now.
Local Alzheimer's societies help people in their region, both those living with dementia and their care partners, manage all aspects of living with Alzheimer's or other dementias. When faced with Alzheimer's disease or other dementias, getting the right help can make all the difference. The Alzheimer's Society offers information, practical advice, and support for people living with dementia and their care partners. Our services include one-on-one counseling, such as navigating and adapting to change, helping to plan for the future, and referrals to community resources and assistance navigating the healthcare system. When people are first diagnosed with dementia, we try to connect as soon as possible. Our intake coordinator is the first point of contact for anyone who has been newly referred to the Alzheimer Society. Once that connection has been established, one of our client support coordinators, or CSCs for short, will make a home visit to the person living with dementia and their family to speak with them and to answer any questions they might have. The CSC stays in touch with that client through their journey and can be contacted with any questions or concerns going forward. Our CSCs help clients to navigate the healthcare system, access appropriate services within the Alzheimer's Society and the community, and generally help clients solve those various practical issues that arise when a person has dementia. Our society also facilitates support groups in our region. Support groups for caregivers and support groups for people living with dementia are available for our registered clients. Caregiver support groups offer those supporting someone living with dementia a chance to share their experiences with others who understand their situation. Participation can be a great way to reduce stress and learn new strategies for effective caring. The objective of the group is to bridge the gap between medical treatment and emotional support. Support groups for people living with dementia give members the opportunity to participate in brain stimulating activities and discussions about living with dementia. Designed for those in the early to moderate stages of dementia, group members benefit from brain exercises and important social interaction.
The Alzheimer's Society also provides many educational opportunities for people living with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, as well as their caregivers and even healthcare providers. Our education team offers helpful one-time public education sessions on a variety of topics. And some of these topics include, an overview of Alzheimer's disease and dementia to get a better understanding of it, the different types of dementia that exist, some strategies for improving brain health, enhancing our communication with the person with dementia, and understanding behavioral changes as dementia progresses. In addition, we also offer a Finding Your Way program, which is a session that's all about living safely in the community. Much of the education we provide is geared specifically to people living with dementia and their care partners. And these sessions help people to understand the disease, to recognize behavioral and communication changes, and to understand the underlying changes in the brain that are responsible for some of those new symptoms that they might see or those new changes. Education series are offered several times through the year, including our First Link Learning series, which we're going to talk about in a moment. And these sessions provide really clear and concise information about the disease, as well as some of the community resources available. And as I said, we're going to talk more about those learning series in just a few moments. We also provide many learning opportunities for community groups, for the general public, and even some corporate information sessions. Through these opportunities and the various sessions that we can offer, you can learn more about dementia and, of course, how you can make our community more dementia friendly. If you are a member of a group or an organization that would like to learn more about dementia, and to arrange to have one of our education team members provide either an in-person session when we're able to do that safely, or a virtual session to your seniors club, maybe it's a church group, to your staff or even your volunteers, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We would be glad to provide information and some education and helpful resources to meet the needs of your group. And just so that you know, no group is too big or too small. The Alzheimer Society also supports the ongoing learning and education of healthcare providers. who are really the ones that are dedicated to helping people with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias and to live well in their communities. Our education team offers certificate programs, including the U First program, U First Advanced, and GPA, which is General Persuasive Approaches in Dementia Care. And we offer these programs to both healthcare professionals and students that are in healthcare related fields of study. Our society also works to support first responders and emergency personnel by providing training to both improve their interactions with people that are living with dementia and to prepare them in the event that they are part of a search and rescue effort for someone living with dementia as well. So you might recall just a few moments ago, I mentioned the First Link Learning Series. And this series is a set of programs that provides essential knowledge and strategies for all stages of dementia. And there are 5 modules in this series, and they're outlined here on the slide. First Steps is a series that helps people that are living with dementia, as well as their care partners or family members, to help understand their diagnosis. And of course, the changes that they're likely to experience. First Steps for Care Partners is similar to the First Steps content, but it provides an overview of the dementia journey specifically for care partners of people that are living with dementia. Care Essentials is a series that offers family members and friends that are caring for people with dementia some helpful problem-solving strategies and some approaches for communication, available avenues for support, all of which can strengthen their ability to provide care during the middle stages of dementia. So Care Essentials is very much focused on those middle stage changes. Options for Care helps family members and friends that are caring for people with dementia to help evaluate their current caregiving needs and to explore other possible care options that may be available to them, including long-term care. And finally, Care in the Later Stages is a learning module that helps family members and friends of people with dementia to help them understand what to expect in the later stages of dementia. And it's important to recognize that we offer these learning series in both in-person and online formats where available. Please do not hesitate to contact us to learn more about the series that might be right for you.
Society also works to bring people together through our social and recreation programs. These include our Young Onset Day Service, Minds in Motion, the Friendly Visiting Program, the Step Out Walking Club, and the Together Apart Club, which is a virtual social recreation program for clients in their homes. It's been shown that people living with dementia have better outcomes if they continue to be socially and physically active. But it's difficult to get out into the community, exercise, and maintain friendships after a diagnosis of dementia. The Alzheimer Society offers a solution to this problem by providing social and recreational programs tailored to the needs of people living with dementia. By joining these programs, people get to socialize with others who understand what it's like to live with dementia. This peer support is coupled with exercise that improves mobility and, in turn, independence. Attending these programs leads to an increase in quality of life for both the person living with dementia and their care partners. Research is getting us closer every day to finding the cause and cures for Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, as well as new and effective approaches to improving care and quality of life for those living with dementia. Finding a treatment will benefit all Canadians by improving the lives of all who are touched by dementia, reducing the growing burden on our healthcare system, and helping to create a better future for the next generation. The Alzheimer Society of Canada is proud to support some of Canada's brightest minds in this vital work. The Alzheimer Society Research Program, or ASRP, is one of Canada's most innovative hubs for dementia research, helping the best and brightest minds in their field spark their work from ideas to impact. Since the program's start in 1989, we've invested over $67 million in grants and awards towards this innovative research that again brings us closer to a future without Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. Starting in 2019, the research program shifted into an open competition with varying funding priorities. And you can see that reflected on the screen here. So they don't just look at the cause, they're also looking at therapy, ways to care, risk management, epidemiology, translational research, treatment, and diagnosis.
Right, back to the misconceptions. You might have thought, and this is a common misconception, that the Alzheimer Society must be entirely government funded in order to be able to continue its work. Well, you may be surprised to hear that only a portion, approximately 60% of our annual budget comes from government funding. The remaining 40% of our funding comes from fundraising in our 4 counties and from the generous donors who kindly support the work that we do. This diagram helps to give you a sense of what Ontario Health, through the provincial government, funds in our annual budget and what our donors help to fund. Without the generous contributions of our donors, we wouldn't be able to offer wonderful programs like Minds in Motion, the Together Again Club, which we also call TAC, Walking Club, and any new programs and services as they're developed. We also wouldn't be able to fund important advertising campaigns aimed at raising awareness and reducing stigma. We are fortunate, through the support of Ontario Health, to be able to offer programs like First Link and supportive counseling, education, like is happening today, young onset day service, the friendly visiting program, and memory clinic support. But it's important to note that even these essential programs and services couldn't run without additional support from our donors.
Thanks, Chris. Now, perhaps you have made the very common assumption that people who receive a dementia diagnosis have probably already been told where they can, access those important resources and support. And it's often assumed that a person's healthcare provider, maybe it's another community partner, or even a concerned family member or friend will direct them or link them to the Alzheimer Society services, and that they'll do this automatically after receiving their diagnosis. Well, it may be surprising to hear that only 20% of Canadians that are living with dementia are actually connected to the Alzheimer Society for service and support. We need your help to change this statistic and to get the message out that the Alzheimer Society is your first link to knowledge and support after a diagnosis of dementia. Together, we can let people living with dementia know that they're not alone and that the Alzheimer Society is here to help them. Let's take a few moments to watch this brief video together about how the Alzheimer Society can be your first link.
You or someone close to you has just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease or another dementia. It's news that can be difficult to hear. It can be overwhelming and life-altering. What should you do? Who should you turn to for help? And when should you seek that help? Connecting to the right supports early in the dementia journey can make a big difference in the quality of life for both the person with dementia and the care partner. However, there can be many barriers to accessing the supports that are vital for people living with dementia. The Alzheimer Society's First Link program opens the door to counseling and support programs, to dementia education, to social and recreational activities, and to community care. First Link helps to improve quality of life, reduce stress, minimize or prevent crisis situations, and enable people to live longer at home and in the community. First Link also helps you navigate what can be a confusing healthcare system. With locations all across Ontario, the Alzheimer Society and its First Link program will connect you to vital dementia education, resources, and support, helping to build your confidence for the journey ahead.
Well, the Alzheimer Society was the first place I reached out to once we got the diagnosis that my husband Gord had Alzheimer's disease. It gave us information about the disease and how the disease progresses. It connected us with other people, either who have the disease or who are caring for someone with the disease. So it truly linked us with many supports and services throughout the duration of the disease process.
To connect with the Alzheimer Society, have your primary care provider refer you to First Link or contact your local Alzheimer Society office directly.
Well, I really love that video. I think it really sums up our message of today, that we want you to know that we are here for you and for anyone you may know living with Alzheimer's or another dementia. Feel free to share that video with them in the future. We can always send that out to you as well. Our next misconception, and there was a little hint of this in that video, perhaps you wondered if a person needs to have received a diagnosis of dementia before they can access the services of the Alzheimer Society. Well, we hope you will recognize and let others know that you do not need a diagnosis to access the programs and services at the Alzheimer Society. Perhaps you are concerned about memory loss and just want to speak to someone. Maybe you have questions about resources that can support a family member. Or it could be that a family member is showing some early warning signs and you want to talk it over with an Alzheimer Society staff person. Regardless of the situation, a formal diagnosis is not required to get the information or support that you need. You also don't need a referral. You can self-refer just by calling us.
Maybe someone told you somewhere along the way that when you get a diagnosis of dementia, other than family and friends, you're pretty much on your own to deal with the disease. We really hope you realize that you are not alone. You don't have to figure it out or cope with it all on your own. For the person living with dementia, the Alzheimer Society is your first link to a community of caring, support, knowledge, and people ready to help. We also know that you probably have questions. Once again, the Alzheimer Society can be your first link to leading knowledge, world-recognized research, and a whole community of caring people who have answers. In fact, it's our vision to be the #1 contact for anyone impacted by Alzheimer's disease and other dementias in our communities. We hope that as more and more people learn about what the Alzheimer Society can provide, that we become the first link for countless individuals and family members. We are dedicated to improving the quality of life for those affected by Alzheimer's disease and other dementias.
You might have thought that you need to wait until the person that's living with dementia is further advanced into their disease before you can actually seek out help and support from the Alzheimer Society. Some people think that they may not be eligible for services right away. Well, for people living with dementia, it makes a huge difference to recognize that the Alzheimer's Society is your first link to both help and support with services, programs, information, and knowledge. And the earlier that people reach out, the sooner they can get all of the important resources that they need to live as well as possible with dementia. When they get access to these resources early on, it can help them to know what to expect and, of course, how to plan for the future.
Well, we have made it to our final misconception that we're going to address today. Perhaps you assume that there must be a cost for the Alzheimer Society's support and education programs because, let's be real, there's a cost for everything these days. More and more, we see financial barriers to the services that are most important to people. We hope that you now know that the majority of our services are available at no cost to our clients and participants. This includes our free education sessions and workshops, our learning series for people living with dementia and their care partners, as well as individual, family, and group support and counseling. There are only small fees for a couple of our programs, like Minds in Motion and the Young Onset Day Service, to cover program costs only, and that is because we don't currently receive funding to cover those costs.
Thanks, Sally. We have looked at many misconceptions and addressed some of the misinformation that sometimes exists about the work of the Alzheimer Society in our time together today. We hope we have been helpful in answering some of your important questions and raising awareness about how the Alzheimer Society can help you. There is one extremely important takeaway from our time together today, and that is the recognition that community, knowledge, and support change everything. The Alzheimer Society has helped to create a community of caring. We have the knowledge and full support for people living with dementia. You'll find easy access to world-class research, services, programs, information, and of course, people ready to help. You can discover all of these important resources and more at alzheimer.ca/first link. We hope that you will visit our website to learn more and that you will reach out with any questions you might have. Thank you for helping us to continue to provide help for today and hope for tomorrow for the countless Canadians that are living with dementia and their caregivers and family members. So at this time, I think we're going to stop our recording and open up the floor to some questions.